This week,
the latest recipient of the Wildcat Connect Award,
Orchestra performs in the Winter Concert,
AP Psych students get hypnotized,
a senior basketball player's season-ending injury,
and another public service announcement.
all here on the MWHS Wildcat News.
Welcome back, Wildcats. I'm Brooke Sliva.
And I'm Miguel Paredes-Reyes. Last Friday, math teacher Andrew Tomei became the latest teacher to win the Wildcat Connect Award for his hard work and dedication towards his students. Sports director Camille O'Neill and staff reporter Nolan Nemitz interviewed him and his students to get their thoughts on the award.
Each semester, the Wildcat Connect Award goes out to a teacher that shows the ability to connect with their students. Students nominated math teacher Andrew Tomei for the award this semester.
The winner of the Wildcat Connect Award is your math teacher, Mr. Tomei.
You know, I've always enjoyed building relationships with students, getting to know their interests, finding out what makes them tick. And so that I've always enjoyed doing. And so being able to be recognized for doing that and being a part of and being able to be a part of helping students, that's why I feel, you know, it's great to receive this award. It's surprising, but I pride myself on building relationships with students, so that's what makes it special.
Students appreciate how Tomei is always there for them, both academically and for outside of the classroom situations.
Mr. Tomei, in my opinion, that was my freshman year, so coming to a new high school in general after moving, I was really nervous, but he really got me excited.
Additionally, coworkers thought Tomei was deserving of the award because of the way he teaches and how he ensures his students are successful.
Mr. Tomei is a great candidate for the Wildcat Connect Award. He finds a way to make kids who don't really like math be successful in his class. I've worked with Mr. Tomei for quite a number of years now, and even when he was at Horizon High School and here at Millard West, he just finds a way to connect with kids and get them to love his class, even if math isn't something that they're really interested in.
Tomei aims to make his class fun and build connections with students on a deeper level. He values the relationships he builds with students. This has been Camille O'Neill and Nolan Nemitz with the MWHS Wildcat News.
Last Tuesday, the orchestra put on their annual winter concert in the auditorium. Online editor-in-chief Caden Roth and I bring you the rest of the story.
On Tuesday, December 14th, the Millard West Orchestra held their annual winter concert. The concert consists of 5 songs, starting with the chamber orchestra, followed by the Philharmonic's orchestra, and finished with the symphony orchestra. The pieces each group performed are meticulously picked by orchestra director Samuel Zaleski.
I listened to a lot of YouTube orchestras. I looked at the scores and tore them apart, analyzed them. And then more importantly, I looked at the skill set that was needed for each of the pieces that we were playing to kind of see if this was something that a high school orchestra could pull off, and specifically our high school orchestra, because every high school orchestra is a bit different, and what might work in Texas will not necessarily work here in Nebraska, for example.
Each group is made up of varying skill and experience levels, which allows the group to showcase what they've been working on throughout the semester.
My classmates were very helpful. Obviously, we all rely on each other to play a good show, and especially our leaders in the group, they take control.
Each section of the orchestra practiced for weeks leading up to their performance, but every group had their own approach to the music. For the cello section, practicing was all about relying on each other and helping one another learn the pieces.
Work really hard in sectionals, which is like small groups of specific instruments. So I had days where I would play with just the other cellos, and we would go through just our parts more specifically, more close up, and really pick out what needed to be cleaned the most.
What was special about these performances was the 2 featured musicians, the first being Alice, who conducted a piece for the Philharmonic Orchestra, and the second being Dr. Mary Perkinson, a distinguished associate professor of violin and string education at the University of Nebraska-Omaha. Dr. Perkinson accompanied the symphony orchestra as a soloist and brought a unique dynamic to the group.
It's important for students, especially young students, to see real musicians, professional grade musicians doing their thing. And that can be inspiring too, and to have the experience of being able to do that's important to me.
With everyone on the orchestra giving their best performances, the show was a success for the department. The students were able to test their abilities and learn more about themselves as musicians.
A huge relief to be done, but it's also bittersweet because I'm going to miss playing these songs. I was mentioning to several people that these are bucket list songs for me. That fact that it's done, I'm glad I can say I did it, but I'm going to miss doing it. And so that's kind of, I guess, my thoughts. And my guess the next thought is, all right, time for January.
This has been Caden Roth and Brooke Sliva for the MWHS Wildcat News.
One of the most famous and interesting aspects of psychology is the concept of hypnosis. Well, in AP Psychology class, these students got an up-close look on how it works. Opinions editor Alexis Pahensky and staff reporter Quinn Burton put you under the trance of their next story.
I want you to close your eyes and focus on the back of your eyelids. I want you to notice whatever color is there.
Over the course of the past week, students in Advanced Placement Psychology have examined courses relating to the stages of consciousness and sleep. These lessons are special to the AP Psych course as it comes with an opportunity that no other class has to offer.
We have a unit on states of consciousness which looks at how throughout the day our levels of awareness changes. We look at dreaming and the stages of dreaming, the steps that we go through. And so she ties into hypnosis being an alternate theory or an alternate state of reality and awareness and consciousness and everything that goes into that.
To further help their studies and gain hands-on experience, a hypnotherapist was introduced to the students. This activity brought to light many misconceptions that follow hypnosis. Many see this practice as a party trick when it's actually a form of therapy to help with anxiety and addictions.
It's always the hypnosis or the visual exercise. It's so neat watching people, especially when they don't think they can be hypnotized or it's not going to work, for them, to just they become so still, so relaxed and quiet, and then you kind of see the reactions in their body to them having better beliefs or better feelings, and it's just really cool to watch that progressively happen. But especially when at the end of it, and I tell them they can open their eyes, there's just usually a big smile that spreads across people's faces.
Through the usage of hypnotherapy, these students received an experience similar to a real-life patient having a session with a hypnotherapist.
I felt like my hands, I felt that they were on my stomach, but it almost felt like I couldn't move them, like they were weighing me down.
This has been Alexis Pahensky and Quinn Burton with the MWHS Wildcat News.
While the starting seniors mainly stole the show during the basketball team's state semifinal run in 2020, one junior saw significant playing time too, playing in all 25 games for the Wildcats. Unfortunately, in the final football game of the season, senior Chase Holtman suffered a season-ending ACL tear. Co-editor-in-chief Evan Vaslow and I interviewed him to hear his story.
For the past few years, senior Chase Holtman has stood out as one of Millard West's top multi-sport athletes, even having aspirations of taking his talents to the Division I level. But on October 22nd, everything changed.
So I just felt my knee snap and I just fell down.
Holtman tore his ACL in the final game of the football season, landing him on the bench for the entirety of the basketball season. However, staying off the court hasn't kept Holtman from contributing to the team.
So our team's super young, so I've just been trying to help out the younger guys and get them used to the speed of the game and understanding what's going on better.
His time on the sidelines has strengthened his relationships with the coaching staff in a unique way.
He's trying to stay as positive as he can. He helps in any way in practice that he can. He's given me some tidbits about some players that we might be playing that we don't know, helping with just ideas that he's had. But he's trying to stay loose and being that cheerleader on the sideline. I know it's rough, but he's doing the best he can.
One relationship in particular stood out for Holtman.
Nick's definitely been a good distraction, good and bad.
Nicholas Wright, the team manager, has become good friends with Holtman and kept him positive in this tough situation.
Shooting around and talking about guy stuff and girl stuff.
While Holtman won't be fully recovered until July, he still wants to keep his college athletic chances alive.
I still might walk on at Creighton for basketball.
For the MWHS Wildcat News, this has been Brooke Sliva and Evan Vaslow.
Junior and senior class boards are prepping for their 6th annual Hoops for Hope basketball game to raise money for the American Cancer Society. You should have received an email with the online order form on December 10th. The online store is open until Thursday, January 6th. Please let Ms. McEnany, Mr. Hilburn, or Ms. Blakely know if you have any questions.
With our final story of the year, Arts and Entertainment Editor Bretta Batchelder and Catalyst Editor-in-Chief Morgan Weir bring you a public service announcement about loud music.
.5% of kids between the ages of 6 and 19 have some degree of hearing loss from listening to loud music. Hearing loss occurs when the hair cells in the inner ear bend over temporarily or break off completely. Once the hair cells are damaged, they don't regrow. The only way to prevent this is to turn down your music. The CDC recommends limiting music that's above 100 decibels to a maximum of 15 minutes. Do your future self a favor and protect your hearing, because once it's gone forever.
Before you leave for break, make sure you grab your copy of the latest edition of the Catalyst newspaper, which you can find in the newsstands around the school.
Thank you for tuning in to our last broadcast of the year. To see the rest of our content, check out our website and our social media pages. For the MWHS Wildcat News, this is Brooke Sliva
and Miguel Perez Reyes. We'll see you in 2022, Wildcats.